A man has been reunited in his tattered loose chamber following his pictures were shared on public print. Peter Sandground found the SLR in the inland Etive in the Highlands time he was work on a business fire and received the RAM map. The photograph later controlled to restore a episode of images that were seized on New Year's Day 2017. Following a public print position was shared more than rather than 1,200 times. The secret proprietor was identified as Charlie Davidson. The oil production engineering of Pete Riad had been surveyed in Glen Etive, that has displayed in movies such as Braveheart and Skyfall, on January 1, 2017. Mr. Davidson, 48, set up his rack and chamber for a length exposition following to the inland. But time he went behind to his bag to get a filtering, his rack and chamber were swept off. The recent image undertaken was a me off of wherever Mr. Sandground found the chamber 10 months after. Mr. Sandground told he had been work on a fire for a Camp Irvin business in Glen Etive in October while he found the corrupt chamber. He told, I was law downward in the inland Etive and installation up a shooting and I glanced downward at the rock I was permanent on and I trapped a glimmer of a crushed up Nikon DSLR. I stretched it out of the rock and dry it off and I could see the RAM map was yet comparatively untouched and I fair mind I'll include a curious at how after. In the assist of an specialist, he restored remarkable images of Buickale Etive Meteor, Glen Etive and Slains Loch in Aberdeenshire of the chamber's RAM map. The Glen Etive photos had been undertaken on New Year's Day night recent year. Mr. Sandground added, these shots were length exposures how I could obviously see wherever undertaken by who, how rather apparently knew their way about a chamber and knew how to job in nature lighting, and deep of box. I include to recognize, one day we restored the shots, I couldn't assist myself, I rammed up the difference on them and the true is, they are vocational norm. Nice shots how who had obviously put a lot of mind and period in. On Monday he published the shots on Facebook and they were so wide share he controlled to track the thankful proprietor. Mr. Davidson told, I am dazed how Peter has controlled to path me downward, he's a very pensive item to do. Or I am massively flattered in the feedback loop on the shots. Description oneself as a ardent amateurish. He told he was impressed in the pictures how he never mind he would view. Mr. Davidson added, I can obviously see of Peter's picture of my chamber how it is so and really gubate na maintained but I am with amazement how the RAM map has kept. I am in fact very smug in how the shots rotated of.